denial, oversimplification. There is tremendous power in being known as a person who tells the truth, even if you've made a mistake. I was having dinner with the CEO of a large import-export business, in fact, in your area of the country. And he said, I will no longer do business with a particular airline, and call the airline's name, because he said, they only have one employee there that I deal with that tells the truth, and they just laid that employee off. He said, when I send out a shipment, it's crucial that it gets to its destination. And he said, they will take my shipment, take my money, and then they don't send it out. And I'll say, is it going to go out tonight? And they say, oh, sure. And it sits there on the dock for sometimes 2 or 3 days. And I'll get a call from Brazil or Puerto Rico, and they haven't gotten it. But he says, there's just one man that works there that I'll go around on the dock, and I'll call him over here, and I'll say, you see that plane and you see that shipment? How full is it? Is it going to get on? And he'll tell me the truth. He'll say, there's no way that shipment's going to get on there. I don't care what they told you at the front counter. There is no way. And I can count on him to tell me the truth, and then I can make a decision. I can call him, and I'll go down and call Brazil and say, it's not going to get there. And they said, he recently got laid off. And guess what? I don't even have a place for him. And I hired him, and I'm going to pay him a salary for 3 months till I can find a job for him, because I want somebody like that working for me. Truth is powerful. People forgive if you tell the truth, but they demand choice.
Dianna Booher is an award-winning author on communication and productivity and life balance. Successful Meetings magazine named her among its 21 top speakers for the 21st century.
Set the pace according to the purpose. All activities don't deserve your best effort, contrary to conventional wisdom. I don't know about you, but sometimes I catch myself eating my lunch at the same pace. I keyboard $1 million proposal. I can tell you they're not equally important. Not too long ago, well, in fact, a few years ago, my college-age son came home and said, Mom, David and I are going to run the 10K run Saturday morning. You want to run with us? I'm thinking, sure, I jazzercise, no big deal. We get out there, hot Texas morning, 9 o'clock, about 102 degrees. Jeff and David, his friend, get over there. They jog over the starting lineup. I'm standing over there by myself, and Jeff says, Mom, we decided we're going to stay back here and run with you. I pick up that stay back here and run with me, and I thought, I'll show these guys. I can always dilate on the couch. And so we start off, and I start off a pretty good pace, and about a mile into it, the friend says, if you don't mind, I think I'll just jog on up to the inn, and I'll see y'all when you get there. So I get the message. I pick up the pace a little bit. About the second mile, I look over at Jeff. He hasn't even broken a sweat. I try to pick it up a little bit. About the 2.5 mile marker, the walking group, they're past in respective hours. I am just thinking maybe I could just turn and join that group. And Jeff looks at me and says, Mom, it's really me. I can't believe you're out here doing this. And I'm thinking, I can't either. All of a sudden, he doesn't even look like he's trying. I said, Jeff, why don't you just go on up there with David? I will meet you at the finish line. He says, no, Mom, we're going to stay back here with you. We can talk. About the 4th mile, my side is feeling like that second-grade attack of appendicitis. He looks at about the 5th mile. He says, Mom, are you okay? I said, Jack, what happened? He says, you're not talking. You talk, I'll listen. Finally, I finish. I just fall over the finish line and just totally passed out. I'm just lying in the grass like this. They gather around. They're doing the ceremonies, presenting the trophies. Neighbors are coming by, waving in the grass. I can't even speak. I hear them in the background. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th place winners in the under 10 category. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th place winners in the teenage category, the 20 to 30 category. And all of a sudden, 40 to 50 age category, Dianna Booher, third place. Now, I knew y'all would not believe me. I feel wonderful. I get up off the grass. I pause for photo ops. All of a sudden, the MC says, all right, everybody, quiet down, quiet down. Fourth place winner. Excuse me. There's not a fourth place winner. There were only 3 runners in that. All of a sudden, I just quietly sit back down on the curb. My son could tell it had really gotten away with me. I began to berate myself. If I had just gotten out, just 2 weeks, if I just tried to run 3 or 4 miles just for a couple of weeks, I could have done better. He said, well, look at it like this, Mom. How many other people even got out here? I think it's pretty good that you finished at your age. But you know, he's right. I mean, think about it. It was a fun run, not a prelude to the Olympics. I ask you, how much of your stress is self-imposed? How many of your deadlines are self-induced and self-set? Dig in your heels for the major missions in life and kick back for the fun runs. You know the difference.
Dianna Booher, from the information age to the communication age, clearly, effectively, and powerfully, helping people and organizations communicate. In the 21st century organization, communication is the heart and soul of management.
The more specific, the more people follow you, and the more believable it is. Think about how many times you hear somebody say something like, I'm sorry, we can't do that. We have limited resources. Are they talking about money, expertise, people? We've had a number of calls about that issue. What's the number of calls? 616, 600? We have too many vehicles parked outside. Cars, delivery trucks, skateboards, ponies. We've had a significant increase. And what's a significant increase? 16%, 600%? We'd like to hear from you within a few days. What's within a few days to you? I want a show of hands here. 2 days. 5 days. 7 to 14 days. All right? A few of you there. Now, see, that's why things don't get done. 2 days to 14 days. And we're making follow-up phone calls. That's why your kids don't obey when you ask them to do something. That's why your husband doesn't go do something when you ask him. And you got follow-up email out there because people have a different time frame. The more specific, the better. Now, if you have kids, you understand this point. I used to live in the Amarillo area. There, if you see that on the weather map, that's where the little pin is. There is a Celanese chemical plant out there. It's flat. The wind's always blowing 100 miles an hour out there. The smell goes everywhere when they're burning chemicals. My daughter was about 4 years old. We were driving down Highway 287 when the window opened. They were burning chemicals everywhere, and she said, Mom, what's that bad smell? I said, it's the Celanese plant. She says, well, why doesn't somebody just pull it up?
Dianna is the author of more than 40 books published by prestigious houses including Simon & Schuster Pocketbooks, Warner, HarperCollins, Ballantine, Tyndale, and McGraw-Hill. Her most popular books, Communicate with Confidence, Speak with Confidence, From Contact to Contract, Your Signature Life, and E-Writing, address the challenges of communication to improve personal and organizational productivity.
All right. You will appreciate this. We were on vacation. I was speaking in Hawaii, and we were going up this in a rainforest, on a rainforest tour, and we were following up the trail, and we had a female guide on this tour, and all of a sudden she turned around and she said, "You see that? That's a lily. That's how we know there are wild hogs in here. They love those roots. They're very starchy, and the hogs just eat and eat and eat until they eat all the dirt away, and then the whole root system is exposed above the ground. It looks like a canopy." And then all of a sudden she noticed that the rest of the group wasn't behind us. And she turned around to the last person behind me, which was a man, and she said, "When the rest of the group catches up, would you pass on that information to them?" The rest of the group caught up, and the man turned around and says, "See that? It's a lily." Basically, there are 22 major differences between how the women and men communicate. I want to point out just a couple here. Women shop for opinions, because to us, opinions means, I'm not necessarily going to do what you tell me. I just want to hear it because that's the way I make up my mind. When women ask for opinions, they go to the opinion mall, better known as the ladies' restroom. Men tend to speak in headlines, women give the fine print. Two colleagues on the telephone. She says, "So what did your boss say about helping you get the transfer? Is he going to help you?" "I don't know. He didn't really commit one way or the other. I don't know if he is or not." "Well, did you remind him? He told you that the day he hired you, that he was going to help you get the transfer?" "Well, I don't know. I didn't want to bring that up and throw it in his face." "Well, did you tell him you had Bill trained here? He could take over this region. There wouldn't be any downtime." "Well, I didn't ask him about Bill. We didn't bring that up." "Well, what did he say exactly?" "Well, I don't remember. I just couldn't tell if he's going to help me get the transfer or not." "Honestly, I don't remember." He always does that. I tell him everything that happens in this office. He never tells me anything. I don't know why he's so secretive. What's going on here? Women think everything is worthy of conversation. The dog got out, the price of cabbage. I just booked $10 million worth of business. It's all equal fodder. Men have a radar. Collect all the information, siphon it down, come up with the big picture message. They dump the details. To them, details are trivial once they have the big picture message. Now, some men are better known for this than others. You remember late President Calvin Coolidge, that's how he got his name, Silent Cal. He went to church one Sunday night. His wife was sick. She didn't go with him. He came in. His wife said, "So what did the preacher preach about tonight?" He said, "Sin." She said, "So what did he say about it?" "He's against it." This may sound more familiar to you. Husband and wife in the bedroom. "So what do you think I should wear Friday, the red suit or the white dress?" Either looks fine. "But which one do you like best, the red suit or the white dress?" "Well, either looks fine. The white dress." "Why?"
The media calls on Dianna as a leading source for business communication issues.
But it's a mental way of thinking about time. What are your priorities? What are your values? And lining how you spend your time up with what you actually value in life.
It sounds almost like you're trying to get yourself centered again.
Exactly. Getting in touch with what's important to you.
And client organizations nationwide call on Dianna to help meet their communication challenges. For organizations seeking to improve communication across functional lines and with their customers, and for people struggling to balance the demands of work and home while increasing their productivity, Dianna Booher's expertise is a hot commodity.
Now, the last test of concern is, do you go back to them and report on the action you've taken because of their feedback? That's the last step. I know one organization that after they take their customer service surveys, and we're in doing customer service a lot, and part of our thing is they report back to the customer who's given them negative feedback what actions they've taken based on these recommendations. Now, talk about demonstrating to somebody that you care and you're concerned, and you give them a list. This is what you told us we were doing wrong, and these are things we've put in place to keep it from happening again, and this is what we're working on. That demonstrates concern in communication on the personal level.
Your best marketing tool and your face to the world are the people who work with you and for you, whether they're contract, virtual, real, part-time, double-time, real-time, half-time. They are your key to repeat business and the upsell. Marcel was a guy that I hired, one of my first account executives I hired several years back. He was out of college about 4 years. He had worked for one of the Fortune 500 companies before he came to us. We had a conversation. He was an excellent salesperson. We had a conversation after he'd been there about 6 months. He had sold a training program to a client and promised something that we couldn't quite deliver as he had promised. And in the course of that conversation, he made this comment. He said, "Dianna, I'm a lot like my German Shepherd, Jensen." He said, "I can say to him, 'Sick 'em,' and he'll jump my backyard fence. But sometimes I have to catch his collar and say, 'Jensen, not that fence, this fence.'" He says, "Sometimes you're going to have to say, 'Marcel, not that course, this course.'" He said, "I love what we do here, but sometimes I get a little anxious." Here's what he did right. He was always looking for the big opportunity. And what else can we do for them? And what other problem do they have? And what else can we solve for them? And who do they know that they can introduce us to us? And what suppliers do they work with where they can get us into? And what other division is in their company that we can do this for? If you are not getting comments weekly about spin-off business and different opportunities in the same client organizations, that silence should be deafening.
Authoritative, energetic, compelling, inspiring, and in demand. With Dianna, you get a meticulously organized, customer-researched, and dynamically delivered presentation designed for maximum impact to meet your particular needs. Dianna Booher's message cuts through the clutter and din of today, helping us create healthy lives and productive organizations. For more information, contact the provider of this video.